Okay, yesterday we started 4.7. We talked about we're going to restrict sine, cosine, and tangent. We'll restrict tangent and sine to the first and fourth quadrant and cosine to the first and the second quadrant. That way, the functions, their inverses can also be functions. We talked about how arc is the same as inverse. And remember, inverse switches the angle and the value to find it. And so inverses find angles. Okay, sure. Inverses find angles. So when I had the arc sine as negative 1/2, well, sine is 1/2 at pi over 6, but it's negative, so I'm going to have to drop down to negative pi over 6. So we plugged in a value and got in an angle. You're reviewing your exact values. So find the exact value of the arc cosine. I don't like writing arc cosine. It bugs me. The two C's in a row bug me. Of square root of 2 over 2. So the question I'm asking is, what angle is cosine square root of 2 over 2 at? Pi over 4, 45 degrees. Good job. Most everything you do will be in radians today. Arc tangent is 0. So where is the tangent 0 at? Does 180 exist for tangent?
Not anymore.
Not anymore. Our only option is where? 0. Normally it would be 0 and 180, but 180 doesn't exist anymore, so we can't use it.
God.
I know. That's why I'm reminding you. Okay. Now, the inverse tangent of negative 1. So where is tangent negative 1 at?
270 degrees. Right?
Okay, tangent is up to pi over 2 and down to negative pi over 2. So tangent would be 1 at 45 degrees, correct? Or pi over 4? Wouldn't it be 1? Tangent, isn't tangent 1 at pi over 4? What is tangent, guys? What over what? Opposite over adjacent. So what's the only triangle that has the opposite and adjacent the same?
2 and 2,
4, 45, 90. So tangent is 1 at pi over 4, so where's it negative 1 at?
Negative.
Negative pi over 4. I would highly suggest to be working on these also. You cannot forget them. The ACT does assume that you know the first quadrant ones at least, and reference tables. Okay, calculators real quick. Get them out. I would also suggest buying new batteries for your calculators.
Mine doesn't have batteries.
We'll charge it.
Buy new batteries. You would have had to buy old batteries.
Mine's been on low battery for
Yeah, so you probably should charge it.
I bought Duracell, so these are good.
Okay.
I bought.
Mrs. Tronick, I might give her a couple of extras, but I don't think she's actually allowed to give you a calculator after the test starts. So what if I want to do this in my calculator?
Well, you
I'd say use the
Probably use the inverse buttons, right?
second
See that?
sine, cosine, buttons.
See it?
Yay.
So the inverse sine of 1/2. And you'll have to pay attention where they want you in radians or degrees.
How do you switch it from radians to degrees again?
Just a second. Obviously, I'm in degrees, correct? Because I got
Yeah.
30. You hit mode,
Oh, I see.
and you hit enter. I think they want you in radians, so we'll just do radians. And then to get out, you just hit quit. So second mode. So if I hit second enter, I can bring it back up. So 0.53 or 5235, whatever. So arc and inverse are the same, correct?
That's right.
What happens if I want, I think you're going to have one. What happens if I want, no, I don't want to do that. Never mind. Do we need to go over any more how to use your calculator to do it? I feel weird just showing you how to put that in your calculator. Okay,
I got it.
thanks.
This
Did you say to leave it in radians?
Yeah, I would leave it in radians. I think they want it in radians. But read the directions. What?
When you typed in inverse tangent of 1/2, what did you get?
Inverse tangent of 1/2?
Yeah, because you had it on your calculator.
No, I didn't.
What does it say?
Just has sine.
I have
Oh,
sine. 1/2, I get 0.4636.
Okay. Well, I thought.
I
thought you put it in tangent.
No, I did not. Okay, so remember that inverses switch the range and domain, right? So sine of an angle gives me a value, right? So the inverse sine of a value gives me an angle. When I work on these, what do you think happens if I take the sine of the arc sine of x? Or the arc sine of the sine of x.
Would it just be sine?
Okay, well let's think about it. Okay?
Equal 1.
So if I follow my order of operations, it says I have to do the inside first, right?
Yeah.
So if I do the inside, arc sine of x gives me a what?
Value.
Angle.
Angle.
It gives me an angle, right? So in here, I would have arc sine of x gives me an angle, correct? Then I would plug that angle into what? Sine, and it would give me what? X. So if I have the sine of the arc sine of x, my answer is just x. Because I switched the range and domain once, and then I switched it back, didn't I? Does it work if I did the sine of x, then the arc sine of that answer?
Yeah.
Yeah. So then answer is still going to be x. It applies for cosine as well. So the cosine of the arc cosine of 1/2. So my answer should be 1/2, shouldn't it, if it follows this rule? So let's do it. So we're going to cover up the cosine. Where is the arc, or where is cosine 1/2 at? What angle?
30, 60.
60. So this answer is pi over 3. And then I have to take the what of it? The cosine?
Cosine of it.
So what's the cosine of pi over 3?
1/2.
1/2. So did it work?
Yeah.
We had,
Repeat how you did that, please.
we found, order of operations tells me I have to do parentheses first.
Okay.
So the arc cosine of 1/2 was pi over 3. Where's cosine 1/2 at?
60.
Which is pi over 3. Okay, and now I take the cosine of pi over 3, which is 1/2. So does it work for tangent as well? The tangent of the arc, tangent of, let me go, 1. Okay, so where is tangent 1 at?
Pi over 4.
Pi over 4. So this is pi over 4. And now I have to take the what of it? The tangent, and I get what? 1. So when they match, they undo each other, and it's just what you have. Make sense? But what happens if they don't match?
Then it's wrong.
You did it wrong.
No solution.
No.
Why do you always say that?
There's no solution. Always.
Because it's the easiest answer.
Am I good to go to the next page? Everyone? Or turn it over, I guess. So now I'm going to have to do the tangent of the arc. And they're not always going to have arc. They're going to have inverse also. But do they mean the same thing?
Yes.
Yes. 2 over 3. Okay. Well, tangent and cosine are not the same functions, right? So I'm not doing the inverse. I'm not switching domain and range. But we are going to start on the inside. So this question asks, what angle, when I take the cosine of it, gives me 2 over 3, correct? So that came from a right triangle, didn't it?
Yeah.
So here's my right triangle, here is my theta, and if I have 2 over 3 and I have cosine, what parts of the triangle do I have?
The hypotenuse.
The hypotenuse and the
Adjacent.
adjacent. So this is my hypotenuse and this is my adjacent, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, now I have my triangle. The ultimate question I have is what?
The tangent.
The tangent of that angle.
You need to find the opposite.
I need to find the opposite. How am I going to find the opposite?
Pythagorean theorem.
Pythagorean theorem. So the square root of 9 minus 4, right? Square root of 5?
Yes.
So once I have the square root of 5, can I find the tangent?
Yes.
Which would be square root of 5 over 2. So when they don't match up, you make your triangle with the
What'd you
what?
do, 9 minus 4?
Pythagorean theorem. A squared plus b squared equals c squared. So I make my triangle with what's in the parentheses, and then I answer the outside question. Now, could I have done it with the other ones too?
Possible.
Yeah, but those are ones we know. And they fit, so why would I do extra work?
Keystone popped up.
Did it go away?
Yes.
Okay, so then I have the cosine of the inverse sine of negative 3/5. Now, this is where it's important because we know we're restricted, right? Correct?
Are we in?
So we're restricted to the sine first. Okay?
Third quadrant.
So sine is first and fourth. And so we're negative, so we're in the what? Fourth. So I'm going to draw my triangle like it's in the fourth quadrant. Because it will help me. So here's my theta. So sine is opposite over hypotenuse. Hopefully you all know that the other side is already what? Nobody?
4.
4. Why does the negative go on the 3 and not the 5?
Because the hypotenuse is a distance and it cannot be negative.
Correct. Hypotenuse is a distance, cannot be negative, and you are in the fourth quadrant, so y is negative. Yes?
Yes.
So now I want the cosine. So if you didn't know this was 4, how would you find it?
Pythagorean theorem.
Pythagorean theorem. So the cosine of that angle, don't care what it is what?
Negative.
No,
4/5.
it's 4/5.
I was looking at the negative. I knew it was 4/5, but I was looking at the negative 3.
Yep. So when they don't match up, make your triangle with the middle. After you make the triangle, it doesn't matter anymore. Because I'm not asking for the angle ultimately, am I? I'm asking for the ratio. You guys need to quit snapping gum.
That's Melissa.
Yeah, Taylor.
Who has the
How
gum?
many gum
Who
is-
has it? Who has the gum? Oh, everybody, spit out the gum in your hand right now.
Put it out.
Okay,
Give it to
stop.
Austin.
Stop.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, that's it. That's all your notes.
You're
Really?